to serve God. You going because your mom gonna ask you,
Mm-hmm.
do you go to church? So you can say,
Your mom-
you can tell the truth.
Yeah, was you raised in church?
I was. I told you I was raised in church. And this is the thing. See, my mother, when we turned like 16, 15, 16, she stopped forcing us. She let us. Yeah, she stopped forcing us to go to church.
You come visit, you going to church.
Say it again.
If you go visit her, you going to church.
See, once we got I say a certain age, she didn't force it on us anymore. Of course, we had to before that. Sunday school every Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, so the word was in us.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, I'm patterning in my children after when she raised me. I said because I put it in them. And I said God will draw at the proper time, as He did. All of us come back to God. All of us. You know, and we all went away. So now, I agree with Brother Paul. Everyone is saying pretty much the same thing. But God did something. Like I say, told me I was a prophet, right? That's before I got saved. I ain't had a God no way on my mind. And, but that and what He said, cause what spoke out of my mouth and said it came to pass, which I heard somebody say He drew us. And that caused me. I just got in the Bible because I want to see what was going on. I wasn't really getting in there to get saved. I just want to see what was going on. You know, like He tell me I'm a prophet, He comes to pass, so I thought a prophet was a fortune teller. So I said, let me get in the Bible and see what's going on. So, you know, they train them up in the way they should go. That, I guess, is explaining why the children are the way they are today. The mamas weren't trained. You know, we're going to bring the government on that, because except Mother Carter, Mother Gardner, the rest of y'all probably not old enough to know that Sister Maxine was raised in this country. When they created what was called the Great Society back in the 60s, and if a girl had a baby, they would give her an apartment. Now, a girl had a baby, they would give her an apartment. Now, most folks know women, and especially young women, are afraid to live by themselves. So you got a girl in here with a baby. Okay, you gave her an apartment, you gave her a welfare, food stamp. So, you know, I remember them talking about how I get it with defects, use a check, and they had to get the boyfriend out, sometimes let him out the women and things like that. But the girl would become a baby factory, really. You just be having baby after baby after baby. Check go up, food stamp go up. And the girl, to me, because she was rebellious anyway, it's like, let some make mistakes and get pregnant, made mistakes. But some are just rebellious, right? And I know that my mother, that generation, if a girl had a baby, they didn't want to know, they didn't want that daughter around that girl, period. You can't be with that girl, you can't go where she goes, because they consider her a woman, where they know she was involved, and that she gonna talk to the girl, you know, if she's supposedly enjoying it, she gonna talk to the girl, you don't know what you missing, thing like that. So they didn't want you being with that girl at all. So that part about them raise them up in the way they should go when they're old, they won't depart. That's true, and I think that's missing today because I don't know if it's rebellion today or just a lack of knowledge. They don't know. I don't think all of the girls that are having babies out of wedlock are rebellious. I think they just don't know. I think their mothers didn't train them, you know. So if it is what we are saying, that because it was embedded in us, so if it wasn't embedded in mama, then I wouldn't do it. But you know, they had an impact. And probably all of y'all can say this, my mom had an impact on the neighborhood and the neighborhood children. Mm-hmm. Because they came around, she would make some of the neighbor children go to Sunday school, you know. So and they knew, come around me, little lady, you got to go to Sunday school, you got to do this, you got to do that. So I don't think that's happening anymore. And I know that they did that. I know that we're headed to the end times, and Well, what the Lord gave me, it was in 1980, and I really can't understand it now because 1980 was 40 years ago. And when the Lord first called me the prophet, he tell me things, you know, on a regular basis. And one thing he told me was the end is near, it's closer than anyone even think. So of course I was preaching hellfire and damnation anytime I got up and preached, because I thought that surely by now the end would have come. But his way is not our ways. His time is not that time. Amen. So that the end, it is, we can see it, right? You can see it. That because the mother's not training the children up in the way they should go. And well, you know, dispute this. Because I said to anyone, and I've said it to you all, I can prove to you Jesus coming within 50 years. And what I say is, first we thought Generation X was that generation. Generation Y came along, they was even worse. And Generation Z has to be the last generation. Even the world's saying, right? The last generation. So what I say is, Generation X, they don't believe in homosexuality and lesbianism. They believe to them it's pleasure. It don't matter, they'll sleep with boy, sleep with girl, girl, sleep with boy, girl, pleasure. Not saying they're gay, they're just saying it's just pleasure. So now, that's Generation X. So now Generation Y, if X is like this, and they're not training their children any different because this is what they believe, right? Mm-hmm. So then, what are their children going to be like? If these will sleep with any and everybody, and they don't consider it wrong, they just consider it pleasure. So their children are going to take, every generation takes it to another level, right? Our mother thought we were just so wicked because we like the Supremes and the tops and all like that. So our children take it to another level. Now that's what Generation Y, X, then Y. Now Generation Z, what in the world you think their children are going to be like, right? So that means 20 years is a generation, right? So X, 20 years later you have Y. 20 years later you have Z. So now we're at Z. They're off the chain. So now that means that they really not getting any training. All of this, and then let me put the devil's part in that. When I was a young man, probably in my 30s, Pac-Man was something else. Yeah. Right? Pac-Man was something else. Just eat those little things. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Okay, now, the devil was getting us hooked on the video games, right, with Pac-Man. Okay, then it moved from Pac-Man. You had tennis and baseball and other things. Then it moved on to where it is now, to where it's killing. Get shot, blood just gush out, right? So now, 2 children doing a lot of killing, right? You look a video, remember these children now. They can hardly differentiate between reality and this pretend thing. So they do a lot of killing. So it does not bother them to kill. They kill so many, right? And they shoot you and the blood gush out. They've seen that so many times. So that's the devil's part in getting us. And in the church, the devil is working on the church. I think the church left out now. The devil is working on the church. And I have to go back to my Mother's Day because that's where it all started with me. I remember how they were. They were going to church on church time. Not this minute, but never a whole lot of folks in a holiness church. Like this minute, they were going to church. Okay, even in the winter, when it was cold, they had one deacon. He would come in. They had a pot-bellied stove. He'd make a fire before the women come in. They come in about an hour, make a fire so that they could come in. And they was dedicated, right? So that dedication is falling along the wayside. Right? It's the people not dedicated anymore. And what bothers me, and I can't say anything because I'm a pastor, you know, I have to allow a lot of things, trying to get people to slowly, you know, figure it out and come to God. But when people get up, when calamity strike, right? Calamity, something devastating happened, or something really bad news from the doctor happened, and then they get a little good news. Well, I just know God was gonna bless. I just had a faith. I just believe this. I just believe that. I just knew God. I just knew this. But they don't come to church. They don't give. They don't do the things that. And I have to go by Peter, which say the righteous is just gonna scarcely make it in. So it bothers me. Here I am. I'm doing all fasting and praying and doing all I know to do. You know, and ask God if there's anything else you want me to do, show me or tell me, and I'll do it. And I don't know. I can't judge, but you know, your mind gonna run some things through it anyway, right? And it's like somebody was saying about praying. Sister Minifield last week was talking about praying, and she thought that something was wrong. She said, "Cause I be praying in my mind, and other things come to my mind." I be right here. Other things come to my mind. You know, as I'm praying, sometimes why my mind going way out there on this or that? You know, it drifts. You know, it doesn't stay where your mouth is still saying the right thing, but your mind is somewhere else. And sometimes the Lord kick the devil out of my mind. I don't know if it's the devil, right? Because he said, bring your thoughts under subjection. So I just look at people and I listen to people, and I was told when I first got saved, get your eyes off people. Yeah. Get your eyes off people. You end up going to hell. We're watching people. Come on, brother. Deacon back.
Yeah. I would have to say the reason why your mind wanders, you know, Jesus say, well, actually, if you think about it, how it's set up is your mind is a receiver. Your mind receives. Receiver, receptor,
That's a receiver. But yeah.
And so the way it's set up is that your mind receives things, because you can be sitting here trying to pray to God, but you could think about something you seen a week ago. Mm-hmm. Your mind is a receiver, and so
what I'm gonna do when I leave out of here.
Right. So therefore, and when the Bible says bring your thoughts under subjection, what that means is that you just overrule your thoughts, because your thoughts going to come to your mind, because whether it be God or whether it be the devil, especially if you're down there trying to pray, it's going to be the devil, because he don't want you to have an open communication with God.
All of the devil.
No, I'm not saying all the devil, okay, but you're going to have thoughts that you know is not of God.
Right.
So therefore, if it's not of God, it's of the devil. So then what you have to do is you just have to overrule those thoughts and keep pressing on, because of the way the situation is set up. We're down here trying to serve God as best we can, but the devil's job is the hindrance as much as he can. So therefore, while you're praying, that's how you bring your thoughts under subjection. You just continue to pray and you continue to press on.
Yeah, because when I come to it sometimes, you know, in my mind I'll be like, well, I'm going to the store when I leave here. And okay, I'm praying, and that'll come around. Well, I got to remember that. You know, wait, sometimes I don't want to be thinking about that. You know, that's going to take care of itself when I leave here. So I don't think that means you're not righteous or holy because your mind drifts. Because that bringing it under subjection, that's more than a notion. That's more than a notion. Bringing your body under subjection, to me, is much easier. You know, you just don't do that. Don't put your hand to it. But the thoughts, you know, these things, they float. You know, and as you say, some of them from the devil, some of them from God. I thought it's from God because you're already praying to God. So God would not interfere, right? So I would say it's either the devil or you, right? That you used to got so much in your spirit and it's manifested in your thoughts. So the children today not being taught about God, and that Christmas, you know, I like what that lady says Sunday. She said, they'll see or me sing. I had never heard that before. You know, and she didn't mean to see or me denomination. She said Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. Yes, sir.
This is real fast. So when you say the children aren't
being taught,
but I firmly believe that God is working through you, because I've, just what I've experienced. With talking to, she's 20, and her thing, when she came to me, she was telling me some things, and I really believe that God is working through
Working through what?
I think that I really believe that God is still, when you were talking about what you were saying, I believe that that God is working through the youth. Not all of them are.
Through the youth.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
I'll just say this really fast. So last Saturday, she's young, she's 20, and she has a child that's 4, and she lived with her boyfriend. And she came to me and she was asking me a question about something else, but she merged into her relationship with God. And what she said, and chop it up real fast. This is what I knew. She said she didn't know how, but she knew she was wrong, and so what she was
From where she was living.
Yeah, she knew she was. She said, Mr. Paul, I didn't know how I knew, but I started praying, and she said what I would do is put my little girl to bed and wait for my boyfriend to go to bed, and then I would go in the other room and pray. And she said she started doing that, right? Then she said one night when she was in there praying, she got up the next morning and her boyfriend says, "Man, you sounded like you were speaking Japanese or Spanish or whatnot." And
He heard it.
Yeah, he said, and I came in and I was like, "What is she? What's going on?" Because he said she thought she was speaking in,
Like when she was speaking in tongues, yeah.
Yeah, and she said, "Mr. Paul, do you think I was speaking in tongues?" And I told her, it's possible, but I told her never stop reading the Bible and then the next week, she moved or she put her boyfriend out because she said he didn't understand what she tried to explain to him what she was going through. So I just say all of that to say that God is moving. He's moving.
No doubt.
Yeah, he's really moving. And I was so impressed with that.
I give you some leaders. Somebody had a hand up? Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say, I have a client who's a psychologist, and he said he's impressed a lot of the youth are talking about God now. He said a lot more, and he sees it a lot more and hears it a lot more than young people. He's saying.
Yes.
So.
To example, my wife, friend Kim, her best friend, her daughter, Camilla's age, Kiana. She went in the military, went in the Marines, she got out. She was a lesbian for a minute. They experimented. But then she gave that up. She had a boyfriend, got a child, broke that up. She moved to Texas. Okay. I believe it was early this year. Her mom said she started going to this church. And she came back after a few times. She threw out all her mini dresses, all this stuff showing all this stuff. She got all new clothes. She gonna serve God. They say all she talking about God, serving God. You gotta tell her older sister, you need to get God in your life. Then there's another young lady, one of Camilla's friends. They all always doing things together. All of a sudden, this girl got saved. And Camilla said, now what you want to do is talk about God. So God is saving the youth, but he's saving the one whose names are written. Is that right? Whether you would talk about your parents or not, your name in that book, you're gonna get saved. Yes, sir.
So that's destiny, huh?
Nobody know about me and Brother Paul laughing because he gonna always bring it back to that. So you are predestined, predestinated. The scripture says. And Brother Baxter will accept this holy. I know the end from the beginning. And according to Exodus, I glean out of Exodus, everybody's name written in the book. Everybody. Because they get that from when the people were rebelling. Moses said, if you won't forgive them, strike my name out your book, your little book. And God said, no. But all of them, paraphrasing, but all of them who won't do right, I will strike that name out of the book. So that tells me everybody's name in the book when you get here. But you cause it to stay in there, be stricken. And everybody not going bad. It's an evil spirit there. A little baby that hit mama. Right. And that's what that resist the devil. See, you taught them to resist the devil. They may think about hitting you again, but they think about when you tapped them. They were, and now, but the devil had in the past laws where you can't really spank them. But the judge said it's all right to spank them, just don't put scars on them. So I say make them put on 2 pair of pants or 2 dresses and wear them out. You know, and now with us, they would get us where we messed up at in public, slap you. And my children said, "Ooh, that's embarrassing." That's why they did it. They embarrass you in public. I said, I guarantee you won't do that in public again because you don't want to be embarrassed. We today, this is me. You can agree or disagree. We care too much about people's feelings. I'm saying the saints. We care too much about people's feelings. I just don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. There was a lady that I'm around on a regular basis, and she, big lady, kind of tall, who had these in her 60s. So, you know how Paul said, the spirit, that the Bible said the spirit fell on you. I just said, well, you always wear them short dresses. Huh? What's wrong with it? I said, it's too short. You know, you're in your 60s. Why you wearing them dresses way up here? Well, I'm a sexy 60 or something like that. And this is the enemy, right? Why do you want to be sexy at 60? Right? You ought to be trying to be grandma, right? You ought to be trying to show your grandchildren, you know, some chasteness. Yes, sir.
She married?
No.
Then she might be trying to find a man.
And I said to that too. I said I didn't tell you everything. I said I said men are coming after women for what they advertise. Well, I'm not advertising. I said, yes, you are. Yes, sir.
Well, with that, I will have to say this, that, you know, if you got a woman here who wear her dress all the way down to her ankle, and then you got a woman here who wear a dress above her knees,
yeah.
you know, men are not going to be attracted to that woman that's dressing modestly.
Not if they not looking for
right.
a good woman.
Well, that may or may not be, but you know, the bottom line is that if the woman is dressing modestly and if the woman is dressing provocatively, then the man is going to go to the one provocatively because
he's not ready to be saved either.
Well, wait, hold on now. How can you say that?
Just for what you
They
say.
just like to have something that looks good on their arms, and they gotta realize everybody else is looking at it, and you don't know what she's looking at the end of the day either.
So there you go. You have someone who, so the whole thing of it is that you want someone, or you want, how can I say this?
Well, let me say this. Let me inject this. If I see 2 women, okay, say I'm attracted to both of them, right? And one dresses up here, one dresses down there. First, I'm just gonna observe them for a while, right? I'm attracted to them, but also if I'm single and I'm really thinking, you know, like if I find the right woman, I'm married, I'm gonna observe them because the short dress doesn't mean she's always. The long dress doesn't mean she's virtuous, right? So I observe them and keep these open, right? You know, then it will lead me to one of them. But which one, I don't know. But it will lead me to one of them. Yes, sir.
What's your birth sign?
Say it again.
What's your birth sign?
These ain't working right.
Taurus.
Your Taurus?
Taurus.
Your astrological sign.
Oh, me?
Astrology, yeah. What's your birth sign?
Oh, Taurus.
Okay. So, sir, not everybody's a Taurus.
Meaning?
There's a lot of men out there that Scorpios or that's born differently from you that don't necessarily look for a woman dressed the way you would look for a woman to be dressed.
Come out to be the mother of your children?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think a lot of I'm not saying every woman that has children is a good mother, and not every man that has kids is a good dad.
Yeah.
But I am saying that there's plenty of people out there that just have different perspectives of the same situation.
So this is why the end of the divorce rate is so high.
Well, actually, if you look at it, the divorce rate is so high because people have a hard time. You taking 2 separate individuals and you trying to merge them two people together.
Yeah.
If you, the one thing that will keep a family together is God, right?
And money.
Here's what I say.
Your personality didn't agree with you.
Nah.
She didn't agree with you on
Lack
that
of
one.
money is the number one reason for divorce.
Absolutely.
She didn't agree with you on that one.
So because for me, my thought process is different from his because I'm single. He's married. So
Yeah.
when he talks, he ain't really been out there. He ain't really been out there
So,
talking to
so
every
it's different
woman
perspectives.
because
It's different perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the reason, Paul.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, like I said, I'm single, he's married.
Yeah.
So the thought process is different, and,
Yeah.
and he's been married for some time, raised a kid online. So you looking at, to me, you looking at it from the outside, and I'm in it. So when you say, so,
You
so
are
a lot
there.
of times, yeah, so a lot of times, when you're married for a long time, you say the things that make sense, but you ain't really out there really knowing or understanding what certain women, because, I don't know.
Your perspective
I don't
is
know,
different.
that's like-
That's all.
Well, when my first wife and I were together 25 years,
Yeah,
when she passed away, first thing I realized, I didn't know how to talk to women.
right.
Because I'm not talking to the women 25 years ago. They had changed. So I didn't know how to talk to them. You know, and I needed help. So, yes, sir.
But I'll say this much: if you got enough money, it don't matter how you.
Wait a minute, you just said money was it now.
No, she said it. Not
I
me.
thought you agreed
No,
with it.
she said. I said she don't agree with you.
Oh, okay.
So money, it don't matter how old you is. If you got enough money,
Yeah,
it don't matter.
I agree. Because there's double standards. You know, they say as a man get older, you know, a little bread and all like that, he's more appealing. And as a woman get older, her body starts changing, she's yet less appealing. But that ought not to be what we're looking at. Not if you're looking for a wife, right? It doesn't matter about the body, right? It doesn't matter about any of those things. Love.
Love also covers a multitude of folks
It
too.
does.
And when you see things that you unhappy with, then you know.
Mother Carter and Mother Gardner can attest to this because they was here. Y'all remember when my first wife died, and I said the next woman I meet, the next woman I marry, I'm not gonna be in love with her. I said that, and everybody was saying, "Well, why would you? Were you here, Sister White?" And they were saying, "Well, why would you marry her then?" I said, "I'm gonna know that I can love her." I said, because what you just said, love covers a multitude of faults. Most things that people divorce for, it was there all the time. But they was in love, but they refused to see it. And you see that in young girls. You try to tell everybody, God knows they just love him more. Sister Max.
So isn't it different for you having had a wife already the second time round, or having been married already the second time round? Your perspective is different. I
Yes.
don't think you're looking for the pretty or the money then, because you could had someone with money and been miserable. I had a client
Yeah.
and her husband had money, and he would give her a check to come and get her hair done, and if she didn't get it the way he wanted it done, she was so miserable. His mother didn't like her because the mother thought she was not, good enough for her son, and she was miserable. He would let her go to college because he thought she was going to meet somebody and run off. She was miserable, and I'm sure if he passed away or the situation changed, she would be like,
Like
you know
O.J.
what?
Simpson's wife.
Huh?
Like O.J. Simpson's wife.
So,
That's pretty much.
Right.
But he
But
was
she should have really left him because she was miserable.
Yeah.
So I think the second time around, your perspective is different.
It would be, for one, okay, when I come out of the street, and I got saved right before I married my first wife, right before I got saved. And believe me, that can destroy marriage. Because I was legalistic, and trying God this, God that, the Bible this, the Bible that. I made her so miserable. She started working 7 days a week, volunteer to make overtime 10 days. She would not come home, unless she had to. And one day, the Spirit just revealed to me that I was making home hell. You know, and I thought about it, and I said, she never made overtime. We don't have no children. You don't need to be making overtime. And I apologized to her. I said, I'm making home hell. And I said, no, I apologize. You know, and then that's when I really started growing up. I started looking at how my actions and words affected the other person. You know, and I saw that on her. You know, so I started changing so we could have a good relationship. We had a good relationship after. I would say after that. So this is the Bible telling us in 12, Romans 12. I beseech you, saved folks, by the mercy of God, that you be holy in your bodies, that you make a sacrifice to serve Him. I'm paraphrasing now. If you read the scripture, and be holy, and which is acceptable, living holy, and sacrifice. Let me read it right. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. You ain't done anything. When you living right, you ain't done anything. You ain't done nothing deep. Because He said your righteousness is filthy rags. So you ain't done anything. So none of us, we don't have no rule. Yes, sir.
So since our righteousness is filthy rags when we sacrificing our life to God, then what's the point of the deeds then? Because you're going to be judged by your deeds, right?
No.
Okay.
You be judged by your heart.
So then
Not
what's
what
the
you did,
point
why
of the
you did.
deeds?
Not what you did, why you did.
Because I know they keep saying that you're going to be judged by your deeds.
Your heart. No, not your deeds. Never your deeds. Not by works. That's deeds. Not by works that any man should boast. It is the gift of God. And that's based on why you did what you did. Sometimes you had a good reason for doing what you did, even though it was wrong or pure wrong. You had a good reason for doing what you did. On that note, I come to realize too, and you hear me say this, and 99.9% of men would disagree. I said there are no bad women. Men make women bad. They don't come here bad. There's some man abused some woman somewhere and cause her to start changing. They're so innocent and they fall in love with you because they just think you this, that, and the other. And then you break their heart and you do this and do that, and then she dog out the good one. Yes, sir. I told you 99% of men disagree, so come on, that 99.
Okay, so as long as I know I'm not going to worry. What makes you say that?
Because observing and listening, you know, and if you talk to women, it's somebody back there in their lives that did something.
So we're talking about circumstances now, huh?
Terrible. Deeds. Somebody did something like she really loved this man. I did it. That was a young lady that fell in love with me, and she was from Buffalo. You know, had left her grandmother's house and came here, you know, was working, and I met her. I didn't mean her no good. I was just showing my friend how to pull a woman. Okay. And I said, watch this. And I said, what time you get off? You know, like that. And she told me, I said, I'm going to pick you up. For real. But I came back and picked her up. Let me finish. I came back and picked her up, and I just dogged her out, right? And she ended up going back to Buffalo, and I was thankful. Okay. I'm saying because I was glad she was getting out of this city because somebody could be the worst than I did. All I did was just stand her up and do this kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay, but my quick question for you right quick is that you say 99% of men would 10% of men would disagree with that. Okay. Now, but my thing of it is, let's look at some of the women in the Bible. Let's look at these women. Am I right, women? Well, yeah, I can say that, but I'm talking about the women in the Bible. Okay, they were, listen, women in the Bible was a man's property. They belonged to the man. They was his property. Sarah was Abraham's property. She called him Lord, right? They belonged to the man. In God's eyes, they still do, but not according to the law. The law said we're equal. But then you said that God's law overrules man's law? It does. So that means that the woman belongs to the man, right? You go and tell President Biden them that, or the judges. They get out of here, they God. Well, we know God ruled heaven, but we rule the earth. You know? So, ask any woman. Ask any woman. You know, say anybody ever really hurt you? Yes. You know, I can, like, I know you. Like, I know what kind of dude you was before you were saved. Because you were like that? Yeah. I could relate to what kind of guy you was, and it didn't matter. Yeah.
just didn't
And
matter.
I had an honest face, man, with a built-in smile. They thought I was a good guy, you know? And I took full advantage of it.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so I know you.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like the spiritual side of you talk, because you surpass better, like you're spiritual. So there's things that you say and the way you act. So, and I know, and you always mention where you came from.
Oh, yeah.
So I know. It's sort of kind of with that.
Yeah.
I struggle with some things, but I know your character before you were saved and where you are now. So you are absolutely right. We did, because I know I did.
We did. I transitioned, and I had a least tell me a couple of years ago, I said, he transitioned. I know what you were talking about, but I transitioned a couple of years, and in that transition, more wisdom set in with the spirit coming up here and meet me. Every time he meet me, it seems like my wisdom level go up. And I'm on more of a spiritual plane than the other plane. And as on the spiritual plane, I'm more forgiving. I don't care what a person has done, because there has to be a reason. So you can't judge by what you see or what you know. God, that's why what he said. God looks at the heart. Man look on the outer appearance, God look at the heart. Yes, sir.
Got a quick question for you. I don't know if everybody was in the news. Man raped his mother.
His mother?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna doubt it.
Okay, man raped his mother. He was 30 years old. Okay. What do you say to that?
The devil. The devil cause you to do anything. And if he high on drugs, she's just a woman.
Well, he beat her up too, though.
Yeah.
So sad.
It is sad, but he wasn't saved. The devil, you have heard me say the devil will make a fool out of you. The devil made a fool out of you. Your mother. How you go even think like that? See, it has to be a devil, right? That he's possessed. She just is a woman.
Isn't that the same way with homosexuality and lesbianism?
They're not possessed. They're following that devil that was there. So a lot of them from here. And they felt like they were born like that because the devil was right there. Mama didn't do this or none of that. So, and the boys were acting like girls, the girls acting like boys. We call them tomboys. They act like he got in the feminine way. They let them kept that, right? And they grew up feeling and always felt this way, right? Because that devil was there with them without time and by spies.
I got one question, Pastor.
Okay.
So when you was talking about spiritual, so do you believe that? Because I do. Do you believe that even a father, when he holds his daughter, it's a demonic spirit? Because my mom used to always say, and my aunt said, "Don't sit on his lap."
Yeah, they did.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
The devil would get into anybody. We used to say that a lot of them slept with their daughters, right? And they would do it. They would break the matrix. They would do it from behind, so that there could be no evidence that they had did it. And the one common thread: the daughters would tell the mothers wouldn't believe it. They would not believe it. Why? They need this man to raise the children. They tell them to this and that and that. Oh, that's the devil. That was common. The mothers would not believe them, so the girls would tell them. This one girl, daddy had her older sister, her next sister, and when it comes to her baby sister, and she saw daddy getting friendly with it, she went to the law. They got it locked up. Mama would, all of them trying to tell mama, daddy did it, mama wouldn't believe it. I don't know if mama wouldn't believe it or she just, I don't know. That devil is just busy. We're in these last days and last times, and Brother Max, I don't think you were here at the beginning. What was that question I asked y'all? Is there a difference in holiness and righteousness? And then I turned it over to whoever.
Well,
And why do you
Say it again.
And why do you serve?
And why do you serve God?
Well, as far as holiness,
Yeah.
I don't know if they know, but holiness just means devoted to the service of God. That's why you have the Holy Bible. That's why Jesus said, "Be ye holy, for I am holy." That means that be devoted to the service of the Lord.
Now, righteous.
Righteousness means as far as doing right, doing what is right, doing not doing evil. It's righteous.
Okay, as Jesus said, thou art not far off. Now, okay, what the other question? Why do you serve God? Before you got saved, what made you decide to serve God?
Wait, say it again?
Before you got saved, what made you decide to serve God?
Oh, God called me. And therefore, once God called me, I answered him. He said in his word, when he called you, don't harden your heart.
Yeah. You hear his voice right now. You actually heard his voice.
I can't say I heard God's voice. I can say that I felt the need to serve God. I felt the desire. I had the desire came into me to want to serve the Lord.
Did anything in particular happen?
Nope, not that I'm aware of. I woke up one morning and I went to sleep regular. Woke up one morning, I just had this overwhelming desire to want to serve God.
Okay. So God did something while you were asleep. I'm gonna kill you if you don't serve me. Come on, whoever doing the announcement.
Did you answer the question?
You answered it.
What was the answer?
He's about the last one.
You.
What's your
What's the answer?
Oh, did I answer it?
Yes.
Oh no, I'm the questioner.
We want to get your thought on that.
It pretty much I'm just gonna say what you all said. You don't have to be saved, holy, sanctified, or nothing to be righteous. You just doing what's right. You do what's right. Now, I won't say all the time, but most of the time, you do what's right. So that in itself makes you a righteous person. But holy is toward God, the Almighty God. And that is your dedication, the way you serve him, why you serve him, the fasting, the praying, and all that. That caused you to be holy. And then I should have put in sanctified, but that's a whole other thing. I'm gonna leave that out.
Well,
So
sanctified being separated.
That's all it means. But people think it means something else. Okay, announcer.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Happy birthday to those May birthdays and holidays. May, for next week, we're asking for you all to invite for Vacational Bible School will be next week.
7:30?
Yes, it's 7:30 to 8:30 on next Thursday and Friday. And on Saturday, we're asking for you all to invite. That's our fun day. We'll have a bouncy house, popcorn, cotton candy, face painting, and food. And we're asking you all to come out, and the time will be from 11:30 to 3:30. And also, we would like to continue to keep Mother Beasley Gardner and Minister Lates and our prayers for their sister and anyone else that we know, and just continue to pray that each and every one of us grow stronger and stronger in the Lord.
Amen. Sister Gardner's sister and my youngest brother's former wife funeral was the same day. She was a diabetic. Her sister had a stroke. Her brother, oldest daughter, had a stroke this past weekend. So get off the court. Court's not the only thing that causes a stroke. I say it's the number one, because that the same way that grease will clog up your sink, it clog up your veins. Ain't that right, Sister White? You had the nursing field. Ain't that right?
Yes, sir, it does.
That meat off that pork clog up your veins, and it's like cement inside there. And then when they have to go in and do the bypass and they're cleaning out your vein, if you go back to eat it, that's what the doctor said. They said this, I heard this about 35 years ago. Person have a stroke and have another. And they say the reason is they go back to do the same thing they did to cause the person. They don't change the way they eat it, they don't start exercise, they don't do it, so they'll have another one. So we don't want a stroke, and God doesn't want us to stroke. Because if nothing else, a stroke is going to impair your thinking and impair your abilities. Right side, left side works. Either way, that stroke is going to do things to you. So we need to stay out of the fast food. I eat fast food, not often. We need to stay out of that, because that fast food is nothing in it good. It's full of grease, right? Now, A preacher said to me, and I shut them over time. Give me about 2 minutes. A preacher said to me, he said, we need to go back to using Lord. You know, Lord, that your mind can, like, come from the port, you know what I'm saying? He said, the grease that won't gel is the one that causes most of the problem in your body. I seem to me it ought to be the other way around. But he said, the grease that won't gel is the one that causes most problems in your body. The other one won't clog up your sinks. He's saying it has more other stuff in it. You know, like the canola oil and all that, it has other stuff in it that affects your body. So we need to start reading more, saints. We're saints, and we need to live good lives, and people need to see it, they need to hear it, they need to come amongst us and don't see us all broke down and on crutches and wheelchairs and all like that. They need to see that, but we're going to have to go back. Let's go way back to serving God. Let's stand and be dismissed. Keep the announcements in mind. Brother Brent lead us in the Vacation Bible School week after next. Is it
Next week. It's next week.
Yeah, I'm thinking the first is Saturday.
Huh?
Yeah.
Next week.
Okay, next week. Amen. And that Saturday, that's been the fun day.
Yes.
I can't have too much fun. I might hurt myself. Because I'm still a child at heart. Now to him that is able to keep you from falling and present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise God our Savior be glory and majesty, dominion and power, both now and ever. God bless you and good night. You ready? Yeah. You doing all right?